Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I read 4 Nancy Drew books from the Nancy Drew files leading up to Christmas. And in this video, I am documenting that experience. I'm filming this intro after the fact. Nancy Drew was a really big deal in my life when I was a child, and my mom would read them to me all the time, and then I started reading them myself. And then she's just a big deal, you know? The cats are playing behind me. I'm sorry. They just happen to be playing around the Christmas tree, and so it's gonna be super annoying. Probably this whole intro, but there's just really nothing I can do about that. I'm gonna quickly go ahead and go through these and tell you what they're about. I just am feeling very nostalgic around Christmas time and wanted to do like a fun pastime. This is what it was. Quick disclaimer before I get into these, this vlog is full spoiler, and if you don't want to see that, then you should not watch this video. But also, I doubt that any of you guys are like dying to read these 1980s series books. These are not the same quality as the originals. These are just kind of fun, goofy. There's a lot more romance, and they're just a good, fun, silly little time. So let's go ahead and talk about the ones that I'm reading. I'm starting with number 8 in the series because I am missing 1 through 7 of these books. I have all of them except 1 through 7. I don't know where they are or what happened to them. So let's quickly run through what these are about. 2 Points to Murder. Ned calls Nancy and is like, hey Nancy, someone's playing some like super sketchy pranks on our basketball team at my college. Can you come figure out what's going on, because we're about to go to the playoffs and we can't have this kind of distraction going on. So Nancy goes. Obviously it's super dramatic, and spoiler alert, Nancy and Ned break up at the end of this book. In book number 9, False Moves, Nancy is contacted again by Ned, who asks her if she will come solve this mystery at the ballet where his new girlfriend is a dancer. So Nancy's like, okay, because this really fancy diamond got stolen, and she's trying to figure out who took it. I didn't read book 10 for this video because I don't think I have that one either, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it. So I just moved on to the next one that I do have, which is Heart of Danger. Spoiler alert again, Nancy and Ned are back together in this one. She goes to Texas. She's working undercover. She's trying to figure out if this guy who owns this ranch, who's the one that contacted her, if his daughter is actually dead and died in a plane crash like he thought, or if she's alive and she's being held for ransom. In Fatal Ransom, Nancy is again contacted by a man whose nephew is being held for ransom. He's the legal guardian. The nephew's dad died. That's what's going on, and they're trying to figure out who took him. So lots of ransom stories in here. This is what's on the table, and without further ado, let's jump into the video. Okay, y'all, I'm about halfway through this. It's dark outside now, so I'm sorry for the bad lighting. Nancy is so not empathetic to other people's needs or fears. I think I already told you the plot of this. You know that Bess and George are with her, but they're like all 3 of them walking back to their room after they got home from an away game, and they see the car that just shot the bus that they were on to like stop the bus, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's the car. So they like start walking over to the car, and then the guy was in the car, so he gets out and he like runs into this building, but obviously he has a gun, right, because he just shot the bus like not too long ago. So they run over, and Bess and George are like, Nancy, shouldn't we take a picture of the license plate? And she's like, no, let's chase the guy. Okay, Nancy, first of all, you could have just figured out who the guy was by taking a picture of the license plate and then figuring out who the car was registered to. But no, she's like, let's chase him. Be careful, he has a gun. And then she just runs away before Bess and George can be like, no, we actually don't want to go into this building and like maybe get shot, Nancy. Then they go in the building and the guy's not in there, but they realize that there's like heating duct and electrical tunnels in the building that they're in. They're like, oh my gosh, let's go into the heating duct, which is obviously super dangerous because there's like electrical wiring and it's the middle of winter, so obviously the heating ducts are like freaking hot. So they go in there and they're like, wow, it's way too hot in here, I'm gonna pass out. So then they go back out and then the car's gone, and it's just like dumb. It's just dumb. I'm flying through this. I've been reading for like maybe 30 minutes and I'm already 75 pages of the way through. I'm just having a good, like, this is just so cheesy, but I'm just having a good time and I can't wait to read more this week. Also, this one just happens, I just said this, but it happens to be set like in the middle of winter, so that's also kind of fun, I think. On another side of things, Nancy is also having like huge problems with Ned because they just like don't talk at all and they're just constantly arguing. But rather than like approach that, she just ignores it because she's more focused on solving the mystery. I don't know. Nancy is just not like, I feel like she's really idolized as like this perfect woman in these books, and she's not. Like, she just doesn't, she's not good at having emotional conversations or just any conversations at all that don't have to do with solving the mystery. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this. I'll update you again when I'm done. I'm just having a good cheesy time. I'm hoping, I know a couple of these ones in particular, like the college ones, get kind of unhinged. So I don't know if this one will go that direction. I mean, it kind of just did, which is why I updated you. But if this one gets unhinged, I'll update you before the end. But otherwise, I'll just let you know when I'm done. Also, I don't think I showed this to you in my like intro clip, but basically there's like a little page in the very front of the book that gives you like a rundown for what's happening in the case, and I actually think that that's really, really fun. It gives you the mission, the suspects, and like things that are going wrong. It's really taken me back to like my nostalgic childhood years. We have so much to unpack here. I don't even know where to start. I guess I will start with actually the end, because Ned finally calls Nancy out and is like, listen, lady, you like don't care about our relationship and you only care about solving mysteries and it's not enough for me, and I'm like not vibing with that. And she's like, but Ned, we share all the cases together. And he's like, Nancy, no, that's actually not how a romantic relationship is supposed to be. And then she's like, don't leave me, I love you. And I'm like, Nancy, stop being a pick-me girl. She like just obviously hasn't even thought that like maybe she should care more about him if she wants to be with him and like show him that she loves him and like maybe talk about things other than mysteries with him. So she starts to cry and Ned leaves her alone, and that's how the book ends. Okay, now let's back up to what's actually going on in the case. So the doctor of the basketball team is running an illegal underground gambling ring. He's hired a like debt collector to beat the shit out of college kids who like lose the bets on the basketball games that the gambling ring is surrounded on. He also has like hired players on the basketball team to like fuck with the scores so that he gets to make the profit. But then one of the players decides to like not do that anymore, so the doctor guy pushes him off of the roof and paralyzes him, but he doesn't die. And then he goes to the hospital and almost gives him an air embolism to kill him. And then the hitman guy goes and like is about to tie Nancy up and shoot her, but then Nancy finds a Jeep inside the gym that's like attached to a float, and she like busts out of the gym, and it's really just the most chaotic thing I think that's ever happened. Like I said, these get absolutely unhinged and you just have to be okay with it. And it was a lot. I'm not giving any of these ratings because I just can't. I'm just reading them to feel the childhood nostalgia, but this was literally insane. And I just don't really have any other thoughts right now. All of them are just insane like that. But Nancy never has any like long-running injuries. I just love it. I just love it. It's kind of funny because obviously these books were being like mass produced, right? So there's probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them being published every year. And it's kind of fun because at the end, it gives you an idea of what's going to be in the next book, because obviously you can like order the next book in the back, right? There's an order form and like where to send it and how much you should make your checkout for or whatever. But it does a page of what the next case is going to be like. So I'll just read this to you, and that way I don't have to stop this, find the next book, and then pitch it to you. But it says, Nancy's next case. It was hard enough breaking up with Ned. Now he's come back, not to make up, but to ask Nancy to help his new girlfriend. Oh my God, I can't wait for the drama. A priceless diamond disappears in the middle of a ballet, and young dancer Belinda Morrison is accused of the daring onstage robbery. Nancy and her new boyfriend Brad investigate the crime, but as they dig deeper, they find the job getting harder and even more dangerous.
I thought I would kind of just give you guys a close-up for this book of that first page that I was talking about, because I don't think I showed it to you for very long. And I just think that this is really fun because it's like the case files, right? So it's giving you this first page as if you were like opening up the file, right? This is maybe what you would find as like a file review. I don't know, because I'm not a detective and I don't write these things, but I just thought I would share that with you.
Friends, I am making some cookies this morning, specifically these cookies, because it's almost Christmas and I am not gonna make sugar cookies because then I would have to kindly distribute them to everyone I know, which is just not, it's just not gonna happen. I also just don't have the energy for like making frosting. I don't even bake very often. So anyway, we're making some oatmeal cookies because then I can eat them at any part of the day that I would like to eat them. And it still feels kind of fun and Christmassy because it's cookies. I figured this morning we could just have a conversation about Nancy Drew as a cultural icon, because she really is one if you think about it. I mean, lady's been around for so long now. I think that they are doing kind of like a modern series now where they like obviously didn't publish any for a while and then now they are again, I think. I don't really care to read any of the modern ones because they just don't have the same appeal as the classics, you know what I mean? Also, pause, look at this cute little butterfly that's embossed on my spoon. I think it is so cute. Nancy Drew is special to me at Christmas time because my mom always gets me a Nancy Drew themed gift, and I think owe Nancy Drew for like my love of reading in general, because that's what my mom and I used to read together like every single night. This frame on my wall is actually a Nancy Drew puzzle that we did and then like Mod Podged over, and now it's in a frame and it's hanging on my wall, and it is probably my favorite wall decoration in my house, and I have a lot of wall decorations in my house, so that's saying a lot. Okay, I'm going in with my hands. Other than baking cookies, I actually have kind of a busy day ahead of myself. I have a ton of stuff that I need to list on Poshmark today because I've been kind of slacking on that lately, and I just have like this huge pile of clothes sitting on top of my dryer that needs to be listed that I've just been like kindly ignoring. So I've got to do that today. I also have a solo lesson this afternoon, which is kind of fitting since we're reading the Dancy ballet book today, although I don't teach ballet, so I don't know if it's a perfect alignment, but it seems fated, right? I was also looking on Goodreads because I like marked the first one that I read last night as read this morning, and it's so funny because like Nancy Drew is this cultural icon that like everyone knows, right? And yes, this is not the original series of books, right? Like this is the second set, but each book on Goodreads has like under 1,000 ratings. Every single one is like 500 or 600 ratings, and I just thought that was kind of interesting because like everyone knows about the Nancy Drew books, right? Like everyone ever knows about them. They're surprisingly unpopular, at least on Goodreads. I don't know if that's just because of the demographic of who's reading them. I mean, I guess that they are technically marketed as like YA, and obviously like 12-year-olds probably aren't on Goodreads. But I just thought that was interesting. I was expecting that they would have a higher rating just because of the nostalgia factor, if nothing else. This is why I don't bake. Like obviously you're supposed to mix this with like a whisk or a spoon or something, but I didn't do that because I don't know about baking, and I just wanted to get it mixed together as fast as I possibly could. Also, don't yell at me for not wearing gloves. I'm making these for my personal consumption, so no. Also, honey, if you think that everyone in the restaurant industry wears gloves, you are so wrong. Anyway, let's go ahead and get these cookies on the cookie sheet now, okay? I'll update you. I don't know how to turn this off. I'll update you when I read more of the book. Okay, I'm halfway through this. Here's what I can tell you. Obviously, Ned and Nancy like broke up, right, in the last book. But in this one, he has his new girlfriend. She's the ballerina. That's the whole plot. That's how Nancy gets involved. Ned recruits her, even though the last case in the last book that Ned recruited her for was the reason that they broke up. Well, actually, there's a whole bunch of problems with their relationship, but that was like the catalyst to it, right? But now Nancy's like, okay, I'll help. And the whole time that she's there, she's just pining for Ned and like being jealous of him with his new girlfriend. Even though Nancy has a new boyfriend, his name's Brad. He's the most boring character I've ever read. He has no character development. He's just like randomly thrown into the story. We don't know anything about him and he has no personality. Ned and Nancy, on the other hand, are like in cahoots. They're like out here searching for clues and like doing all this stuff. And the whole time Nancy's like, oh my gosh, Ned, why are we doing this? This is so unhealthy. Neither of these characters know how to handle a breakup, very obviously. And Ned is also just being a real tool in this because he's like flaunting around with, what's her face? Belinda, which is the ballerina. He's like flaunting around with her, and she is also just a real brat. Like, she is super stuck up, very fake. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? Why is this more about these relationship dynamics than it is about the mystery? I'm just overwhelmed. Nancy has about 5 billion suspects, and I'm pretty sure all of them are wrong. I think that what's gonna happen is it's gonna end up being the principal dancer that the jewel was stolen off of. I think it's gonna be her because she's retiring and her ankle's giving her problems, and I think she wants to get some moolah when she retires because she doesn't want to have a real job. She just, not that dancing isn't a real job, but I'm saying after she retires, she doesn't want to ever work again. So she just wants to sell the pin or something and get rich and not have to work. That's my prediction for what's going to happen in this. It's going to take me probably like half an hour to finish this, so I'll update you again when I'm done, but I'm just, oh God. This one specifically is kind of just a mess. I'm not here for it. It's also just not as like high strung as the normal ones are because it's obviously less focused on the mystery, more focused on Nancy and Ned's terrible relationship in its current stages. I'm not even sure what to say. Nancy breaks up with Brad. Ned breaks up with Belinda. Nancy and Ned get back together. I was right though. The principal dancer, Katya, was the thief. Yeah, I figured it out. I figured it out from the beginning. From the first clue. I figured out the first clue way before Nancy figured out the first clue. So go me, I guess. Also, the reason that Nancy and Brad break up is because he called the police. What? Brad goes to call the police when he realizes that things are getting wild because obviously Nancy has no power to arrest someone. So I'm not sure what she's gonna do, but basically the police show up and Nancy's like, where did these police people come from? I didn't call them. And then she figures out that Brad did it and she's like, Brad, why the hell would you call the police? And Brad's like, because things were getting crazy and someone was gonna need to get arrested. And Nancy's like, oh, Brad, you just like don't understand. But like, Nancy, what were you gonna do? What were you gonna do? Did you just want to like capture her and then call the police yourself? Like, why are you pissed off right now? I don't know. She's out here complaining about how Belinda's stuck up. Nancy, look at you. Look at you. You're mad at your boyfriend because he called the cops to arrest a criminal that just tried to kill you with a knife. What? I liked the last one significantly more. I don't have what book is this? This is book 9. I'm missing book 10 from my series, but I will still read to you what book 10 was going to be about. That way, going into book 11, we know what's going on. Okay, so in book 10, which we are not reading in this video because I don't have book 10, Nancy can't refuse a challenge, especially when it involves murder. It's an old case, but it reveals new surprises, including an amazing secret about Hannah Gruen. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad that I don't have this book. It includes new dangers as Nancy and Ned track down a person who's gotten away with murder for 30 years. With each step, Nancy comes closer to the killer, but is she also coming closer to her own death? I'm going to start book 11 today. I don't know if I'll read all of it just because I want to read some like actual good literature today as well. That would be super, super cool. Probably gonna take a break, but I'll let you know. Also, I finished my cookies. They are pretty ugly, but I just made them to have as like breakfast cookies, so I don't care how they look. I'm not gonna show them to you though, because they're not cute at all. Okay, so book 11, we are headed to Texas. It's gonna be wild. Nancy's going undercover at a Texas ranch to find the kidnappers who are demanding a small fortune for a girl who's been dead for 15 years. What? Her contact is Robert, a retired oil tycoon, cattle baron, and father of the kidnapped girl. And the complications are Nancy's on her own undercover and 40 miles from the nearest town. She can't afford to trust anyone, including Gene Newsom, handsome foreman of the ranch. The only thing she can depend on is trouble. Western style. Let me tell you what else I'm doing today, because I realized I got cut off in that last clip when I was making the cookies and I was telling you about what I'm doing today. So I have my solo lesson a little bit later today. I need to finish a Christmas present that I'm crocheting. I have one more that I've got to get done. And then I'm also crocheting a sweater right now for myself that I really, really want to finish, or at least make progress on today. And I think I'm having dinner with my mom tonight, and we're going to look at Christmas lights with my kitty. Tinkerbell really likes to look at Christmas lights. She likes to be in the car at night in general. She just is here for it. Gigi, on the other hand, does not like that, so she's not coming. But me and my mom and Tinkerbell are gonna go cruising around the town this evening, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So I'll try to get some footage of that. I don't know if I will, but that's the plan. Hi, it is day 3, obviously. I hope you enjoyed the very few clips that I got of us looking at Christmas lights, and also my mom's sweet little baby cat. She is precious and I love her. I am struggling. I'm really struggling to just want to read anything today. I don't think that it's Nancy Drew's fault. If anything, I think that she's doing a good job of helping me want to read, because her books are short, but I just don't have any energy to read today. I've read 50 pages of this so far, and it was a power struggle. I really just wanted to play games on my phone. I'm also making a sweater right now, and it's for me, but I just really want it to be done by Christmas, so I'm working really, really hard on that. And I'm using this like tiny hook, and it's just taking so long. But I'm on the back panel. I'm in the home stretch. I think if I really buckle down tonight and I finish this, then I can finish the sweater afterwards, because I'm like halfway through the back panel right now, and that's still so long, but I think that I can finish it right after I force myself to finish this book. It's not this book's fault. I'm liking this one significantly better than I liked the ballet one, I will say that. We've got a lot of ranchy things going on. There's horses, there's little drama happening on the ranch about what the best interests of the ranch are from different characters. Obviously, everyone in a Nancy Drew book except Nancy is shady. Ned, thank God, is not in this one, so that is already bumping it up a star if I were rating these, which I'm not. Sorry, my arm is getting really tired and I'm just holding you up. We're also just standing in my bathroom because it's the only place that we have good lighting this time of night, besides right by the Christmas tree, and I already filmed clips there earlier. We're living on like 7 hours of daylight right now, and it's tough. One thing I will say is literally every single one of these books I've read is Nancy gets like threatening notes from whoever is responsible for whatever crime she's investigating. She gets threatening notes from them being like, back off the case, back off the case. But in every single story, there's notes. I'm like, how do they even know who she is? Like, what's going on? In this one, one thing that I am finding funny is that Nancy is like undercover, and the guy that's hired her is like, you're gonna pose as my ghostwriter, but Nancy's 18 in these. And so the guy that like picks her up from the airport is like, you're a ghostwriter? You straight up look like you're in high school. And she's like, yeah, my dad used to help me. Like, Nancy, no. That's a terrible, what? your dad helped you be a ghostwriter in high school, that doesn't make any sense. But otherwise, this is a good time. I am still liking these. It's just really nostalgic feelings for me. So anyway, I'm gonna go force myself to finish this right now. Nancy's like so smart, right? But the stepson of the guy who hired her has been asking him to like bring in exotic animals to his property. He's like, it would be such a good investment. Like, think of all the money we could make if we had exotic animals in our ranch in Texas. And the guy that owns the ranch, the stepdad, is like, no, we're not doing that. Nancy starts seeing these like Australian and African animals around the ranch, and she just like doesn't think anything of it. Like, she somehow doesn't connect the dots. Then right now on page 87, she overhears what's his face, Mark, and his mom, and his mom is like yelling at him. She's like, how could you be so stupid, smuggling at such high risk, if the old man ever finds out, like all this stuff. And Nancy thinks that they're talking about the kidnapping or the alleged kidnapping and ransom, when obviously she's talking about the animals. Like, Nancy, are you dumb? It's all laid out. It's so easy to put together. Like, there's not even any mystery there that that's what they're talking about. But now she's gonna go down some rabbit hole that's all wrong because she doesn't realize that they're talking about smuggling in endangered animals or exotic animals to have on their little ranch farm situation. The wife, the new wife, is clearly poisoning him, and he doesn't see it. She doesn't see it. Nancy doesn't see it. And like, this one is just like, Nancy is not being a good sleuth. Like, she is not sussing it out. She does not know what's going on, and she needs to get it together because I already have the whole mystery solved, but Nancy does not, and she needs to get it together. She needs to put the clues together. She needs to stop thinking about calling Ned, which she does every single chapter, and she needs to get her head in the game. I just thought that rather than updating you last night again and in the dark, I would wait till we actually had some natural light. Pretty much everything that I thought was gonna happen happened. There wasn't anything else. Ned came to the ranch. I just don't understand why Nancy can't do anything by herself. And also, if Ned like broke up with Nancy because he hates how involved in detective work she is and whatnot, then why is he so invested in being around her for this case? I don't know. We are on to the last book that I'm going to read for this video, which is Fatal Ransom. I don't know why the lighting is washing out the book so bad, but we're reading Fatal Ransom. This one is about this teenage guy that gets kidnapped. He's an heir to a big fortune. His handsome uncle is sure that his friends have captured him. Lance's girlfriend feels Hal doesn't deserve the near $500,000, so obviously Lance's girlfriend is somehow involved. This is just me reading it off the back. I haven't actually started it yet. And I also think this is the shortest one. Yep, this is the shortest one that I'll be reading for this video. I also think all of the books that I have read in this video were published in 1987, so that's kind of fun. And I'm also gonna finish my sweater this afternoon, so I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna try it on for you. I will talk to you a little bit about the pattern. I don't know if any of you that are actually watching this video care about crochet, but if you do, I'm gonna be showing it off. It is, you can see the corner of it you can see it right there. That's the corner of the sweater. So it's hot pink and it has sparkles in it, and I'm really excited about it. Nancy is having a conversation with her dad about taking the case, and he doesn't want her to take it because it's like it's pretty sus, and he doesn't want her to get hurt. And she's like, Dad, you know I'm always careful. I'll call you if it gets dangerous. And he's like, I know you will, Nancy. I know you're always careful. But Nancy's not always careful. That's the problem in this, is that's actually, Nancy gets a concussion in every single freaking book. She always gets hit over the head with something. She never calls Carson Drew about it, that's for sure. That is my sweater that I finished. I will try it on for you tomorrow when we have some daylight to work with. Remember that conversation that we had when I started reading this, and we were talking about how Nancy said she was gonna call her dad if like she got in danger. Well, she just got in Mr. Bro's car and she got out because Bess showed up. So she like gets out to go talk to Bess, and then the car just explodes. Does she call her dad? No. No, she doesn't. Also, I don't know if it's just because I'm tired or if this book just isn't as well written as the other ones that I've read. Not that these are like well written at all, but I'm kind of just like confused on a couple of things going on in here. This guy who is the guardian of the boy that's being held for ransom, his ex-girlfriend who still lives with him, just tried to kill Nancy with a fire poker. Somehow Nancy gets out of that situation, and the girly, what is her face? Monica runs upstairs, locks herself in the bathroom, and then goes out on the roof. And then Nancy like breaks down the bathroom door, but she's not trying to run away. She's just being dramatic. And Nancy's like, whoa, girl, don't jump off the roof. And then she comes back inside, and then she goes to bed. I'm a tad confused on her whole character arc, Monica's character arc. I'm sorry, I just feel like this one is like not done well, or at least not done as well as the other ones, because I'm just kind of struggling to piece together like what these characters, like the purpose that these characters are supposed to be serving, because right now they're not making sense. None of the character arcs are making sense. There's just a lot going on that I just don't quite understand, but I still have like 50 pages left. So I guess I'll finish this and just let you know what's going on after that. I am terribly exhausted. It is almost midnight and I am so freaking tired, but I just finished this. Basically, one plot line was exactly what I thought it was going to be, which is that the Hal, who is the one that is supposedly kidnapped, is actually not kidnapped, and he's writing the ransom for himself because he wanted to get money. And yes, because his uncle, like, is his legal guardian, and we never get actually told how old Hal is, so I'm not sure. I think he's in high school, maybe. But he wants to drop out of school and take his money and go to California, and his uncle wouldn't give him the money, so he faked his kidnapping so that he could get the money. But then his uncle edited the ransom note so that he could take money out of the trust for Hal and run away to some tropical destination. And then Nancy solves the whole thing, and George karate chops Lance, and Hal gets shot in the arm, and Ned shows up just in time to save the day. And again, no one calls the police until the very, 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 very last page. And then Nancy kisses Ned, and it gets kind of like scandalous, and then the book is over. I did not enjoy this one nearly as much as the other ones that I read in this video. It wasn't even like unhinged, it was just like a kind of a mess plot-wise. So here is the final product. Can you see it? It also has like a ribbed neck. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but anyway, it has little sparkles in it and I'm really excited about it. So that's what I've been working on this week. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I did finish this last night, but I was obviously very delirious when I was trying to explain to you what was going on, and I honestly still don't really know. This one was just a mess. The authors really dropped the ball with this one in my opinion, and sorry, the cats are playing right here if you can't tell. I almost wanted to read one more to end on a little bit better note, but I did not do that, and that's okay because I am moving on to other videos. I have a lot of like sit down videos to film today. Kind of fun, but I'm also a little tired out from reading so many of these, plus other stuff that has been off camera all week. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you like grew up reading Nancy Drew, if you have any opinions on these. I think the overall takeaway we can get from this is that the originals, the Flashlight Yellows, into the ones that are colored but still part of that same original series, are leagues ahead of these guys. Let me know as well if you guys would be interested in watching a video where I read the Flashlight Yellow ones, because I do have all of those as well. I'm wishing you all happy holidays. It's after Christmas now. I'm gonna edit this video and hopefully get it up later today. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!